Hi, I'm Borkon. Glad to have you here. Welcome back. And today we're going to be finally building some 117 farms. Well, finally, the 117 update has only been out for, what, 3 days by now, but it's time to make farms. I have done all the smoke testing on the world, and yes, things seem to be working. I actually have a pre-release of the new version of the lithium mod, and yeah, my performance is back. It's not too terrible. There is still no rendering mod that I can use, so my frames per second are not particularly good, but that doesn't really matter. The video quality should be good enough. Let's just build a new farm. And I need to go south. I've done some research which regions I have not generated in my world, and I need to go to a new region. Well, I need to go into new chunks, but for that I just looked into which regions I don't have. I need to go to Z650 at least, and just maybe make a tunnel, maybe not even make a tunnel. Yeah, we can just stop here. I'm gonna make a portal. 700 seems good. I'm gonna make a portal and go into the overworld and see where we end up. I have been criticized for making portals this way. That, ooh, I am saving on materials on the corners. I don't like the corners. I think this is much better as a portal. Sometimes make corners just because I fall for peer pressure, but this time I wanted to make a silly portal. Anyway, let's go through here, look around what we find. I want to find some geodes, and of course we're gonna be making an amethyst farm. Well, we ended up in a desert. I don't know if I like this, but deserts do have ravines and stuff where you can go down. Now I'm gonna probably just spend many hours trying to find a good geode layout. I really hope it will be close to this portal, but of course this is just probably a temporary portal. This river is actually good for... Ooh. Is all of this river? I might change my plans. Maybe not for today. Wait, why am I doing this? I do have the mini HUD. We are still desert. This is river. Quite a bit of river. I might actually do a glow squid farm here, because this is a big bit of river. And I'm probably not gonna repurpose my actual squid farm into a glow squid farm, but ooh, this might actually be good. And this looks good too. And there is a desert, whatever, temple, monument, whatever they are called. This is all river as well? I might have accidentally just found a very good spot for a glow squid farm, because that is also another farm that I want to make in the future, but today we're looking for geodes, we're not looking for a glow squid farm. But this river looks almost perfect. Of course, I need to do more research to see if there isn't too much water I would have to clear. Oh, yeah, there is an ocean. That's too close. Never mind. I cannot make a glow squid farm here because we are too close to the ocean. And if you're wondering why it's night and nothing is spawning, the mob switch is on, of course. I'm lazy and I don't want to fight things. And it's so bright because I do have the gamma override to make the videos look better. Anyway, I'm gonna try to find some ravines, try to find somewhere where we can find some geodes, and try to build a amethyst farm. All right, I think this looks good, and this is really scary because look at how fast these blocks break. These are insta-mineable, by the way. What are they called? Let's see, this is calcite. Calcite is insta-mineable, but the amethysts, are they? They are probably not insta-mineable, but they're very close. And I really don't want to kill the budding amethysts because these we need to expose and we need to remove all the other blocks around them so we can build a farm. But the amazing thing about this place is... Bam! There is another geode here. So we have two geodes that we can play around with that are right next to each other. And that should make the farm slightly more productive because apparently, like I have not even tried this in creative, but apparently these farms are not particularly fast. And I want tinted glass because that should make some things much simpler to build. And I'm actually thinking about taking the witch farms and removing the roofs on them because I don't really like the roofs and they're not necessary because we're not having pack spawning on the witch farms anyway. Yes, I have learned that. both from comments and by some other research I've done, that there is no reason to have this giant roof for the witch farms for pack spawning, which means I could make them compactor and cleaner. And there's some other updates on the witch farms that I want to make, so we want tinted glass for that, because it's still nice to be able to look into a farm while it's operating without letting daylight through. That's why we want tinted glass. And it's also cool, and it's fun to build new farms. That should be reason enough, actually, but I always try to find a practical reason for why I'm farming something, even though most of the farms I built just for fun. Anyway, I'm gonna clean everything out here, try to make myself some work area that makes sense. I don't know what I'm exactly looking for. I suspect I will figure it out once we get there. So, time for some cleaning, and we'll be building a farm right here. This time, the farm design will be completely live without any experimentation done in creative, but I'm pretty sure I know what I'm doing, or I will be able to figure it out relatively easily. The interesting part about Amethyst farms is that you can't really make a standardized design, because the... Oh, wait, let me remove this block. This block here, the budding amethyst, cannot be moved in any way whatsoever, at least any way that doesn't involve exploiting things, and as far as I know, there are no known exploits to move these right now. I'm sure lots of people are working on those, but we need to build the farm in exactly the layout of the budding amethysts that we happen to get generated in the world. We can't change that, and therefore every farm has to be adapted to the particular geode you're building it in. Slightly similar to both squid farms, or especially drowned farms that have to follow a river in a very particular way. You can't have a general blueprint of the standard drowned farm that you just drop in every world. You have to adapt it to the particular world you're in. And I kinda like that. I do like farms that aren't super standard, where you actually have to do some thinking while you're building it. Alright, the area is clear, or clear enough. I didn't exactly finish it to be a cuboid, but it's close enough. And yeah, let's try to build a farm around this. And what I'm thinking is I'm gonna start doing the upper geode, and then I'm gonna let it run while I'm clearing the lower one. Because this took quite a bit of time, actually. I thought it would be much smaller than this, but this ended up being like 1.5 shulker boxes of rocks I removed, which surprised me. Anyway, the way the farm is gonna work is basically the design that Ilmango has shown a few times now, because it's maybe not 100% most efficient, but it's good enough, and it's definitely the simplest one to build without going insane. So the way these things work is that this thing, which is called the budding amethyst, has a small chance of growing a amethyst bud when it gets hit by a random tick. I think it's 1 in 5. When it grows, it first grows to a small one, then a medium one, then there is a large one, which I saw somewhere here. I think that is a large one, and this is an amethyst cluster, which is the final product. We could try to detect how big they are by having an observer on them and counting the number of times of the observer gets hit. But every single possible bud or cluster around these budding amethysts would have to have a separate counter. The machine would end up absolutely enormous, and we probably couldn't even fit counters for most of these, so it's probably not a good idea to do it. If you only have one budding amethyst, then yeah, it would make sense to create counters for everything. But for all of these, that doesn't make sense. So Ilmango did the math, he did some statistical analysis on the problem and found that punching them out every 167 minutes, yes, minutes, that's almost 3 hours. Every 3 hours we need to punch out the clusters, and that gives us the largest amount of clusters that have finished growing, because when they are grown, they are preventing new ones from growing, right? And it does it rarely enough that most of them have time to grow. So 167 minutes. I guess this one is ready to be harvested. So So let's just see how that works. I'm gonna place a block here. I'm gonna place a block here. I need to be very careful so I don't destroy the budding amethyst because they are not replaceable. So we have that one here. Then I guess we just add a piston. Oh, that was correct. And I think it's supposed to be working like this. This is absolutely the first time I try it. So, punch. And yeah, we get amethyst shards. Exactly what we were looking for. So, I'm just gonna place hoppers underneath every one of these. Yeah, it's gonna be laggy, but it's not gonna be bad. It's not gonna be that many in here. I was first thinking about doing something intelligent with water streams, but apparently these cannot grow inside flowing water. They can grow in water sources and get waterlogged. Oh, we saw one grow there. That's actually very rare to see it happen, apparently. Well, I actually haven't seen one grow yet. That was the first one I've seen grow with my own eyes. But yeah, so I was thinking about doing some intelligent pickup system with water, and it might make sense to take at least the lowest ones or the ones that have nothing below them. But for example, if I punch this one out, it would land on this one, right? And yeah, that doesn't really... I don't like that. We're going to have lazy hoppers under every possible amethyst clusters that we're going to be punching out, and hopper lines into a chest. That's it. And I think a chest is going to be enough because this is not going to be a fast farm. And this looks about right. Every single cluster that I could reach reasonably should be now punchable by pistons. And as you can see, I'm only doing the ones on the sides because it's just simply that way. But over here, for example, we have an example of how extra complicated this could end up being, because I don't have a piston here, and because if I had a piston here, I would have to have a hopper under here or some way to remove the amethyst that falls from this side, and well, there is no good way of doing that. So this one will not get harvested, and there is a bunch of those that won't get, like this one won't get harvested. This one should be though. Why isn't it? I probably just missed something. And yes, I am using sticky pistons at the end here because I ran out of normal pistons because I forgot to pack before coming here. It's fine. Sticky pistons will work just as well as normal pistons. Alright, I didn't fetch any new pistons because I could use sticky pistons, but there is no substitute for hoppers. I am using an absolutely staggering amount of hoppers for that thing that we actually need to fetch, unfortunately. But I do have a redstone factory, so it shouldn't be such a big deal. And the fun thing is that the amethyst farm is in the same tunnel as the witch huts. I didn't even think about that, but it's just around the corner. Well, just around the corner. This corridor is absolutely super long, because the witch farm is at minus 7,000, and I think the geodes were at 0 and 5,000 or something like that. It should be just here somewhere on the side. Well, there. So it's not too far. That's practical since I'm using so many redstone components. I'm sure I have forgotten something else too. Alright, all the hoppers are in, and this looks like a complete mess, but a mess that makes sense somehow. I kind of like it. I kind of don't like it for one reason, and that is I am actually not sure if I missed anything. I am so afraid that there is just a huge gap here somewhere where the hoppers aren't connected, or even worse, that I connected some of the hoppers in a loop, and they're just sending items back and forth. I probably should just test it. But yeah, this looks quite okay. I think everything goes somehow. These hoppers go here, they continue here, they continue down through that hopper, it looks like. There's a hopper line here, it continues here. I'm just, mostly I'm just talking to myself now, trying to figure out where everything is going. It's a little bit chaotic, but, oh, this one doesn't go anywhere, so that's probably a problem. Oh, I should have checked if the scaffolding was there. These ones go here, go down here. Yeah, I'm gonna just trace all of these and see if I have missed anything, but it all makes sense. The next step is, of course, dusts and repeaters. Well, I probably don't need that many repeaters, but I probably need much more dust than I think I do. And where do I put the clock? I think I'm gonna put the clock here. Yeah, there's a lot of space here. I'm gonna build the clock here and try to route the signal. So actually, no, the clock should be on top because it's easier to send the signals down than up. Yeah, clock on top, and we're gonna try to figure something out from there. So near that one, I guess. Oh well, I'll figure it out. Alright, this should be the clock. Well, of course, the clock will not be this fast. I just made it fast so I could test the theory of it. So the problem we're having is that this needs to be 167 minutes, I think I said. Or Ilmango said, and I just copied what he said. But this clock, a typical hopper clock, or an etho hopper clock, can only do 256 seconds. And it turns out that 256 times 40 or 39 gets us close enough. I could play around with reducing the number of items in here and get it exact, but yeah, we don't need to be perfect. I'm gonna add a few more seconds, so I think it's gonna end up at 168 minutes or something like that. Good enough for me. I could do the accurate math at some point, but not right now. Right now I want to actually keep the clock fast, because now I do want to see the pistons punching things out, mostly because I just want to see where I need to put the repeaters in. I actually don't need to power that block. I need to power this block. And yeah, we're just gonna do really dumb lines like this. Oh, and we had our first punching of the amethyst shards. Oh, it's so easy to fall down here. So which ones? We can see these ones being punched out. So I can do something like this. Ooh, don't fall down. Those should now get punched out. That one is probably even big enough. Or is it? It probably wasn't. But yeah, this is how it's gonna work, except on a much, much slower clock. Let's see if we picked something up at least. I think we picked up a lot of... No, okay, we have a bunch of shards now. So some of the ones that we already punched out were fully grown. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm just gonna lay down all these redstone lines, see where I need to add the repeaters, and that's it. As you can see, by the way, I don't have the resource packs for the redstone dust that I normally use, where I can see the power levels, and that's because last time I checked, Vanilla Tweaks hasn't updated yet. And yes, this is something that people ask me about. I'm using some of the tweaks for resource packs from vanillatweaks.net, and among other things, and the most important one is the one that shows me power levels on redstone lines, because that's just much more convenient. And maybe I should go and look if that exists now, because I haven't looked for a few days, and Vanilla Tweaks usually update relatively close to release times. Yeah, I should do that, because this is annoying me and I want to actually see the power levels so I can plan this a little bit better, other than just randomly laying things down on a fast clock. And that was simple. Yeah, Vanilla Tweaks have updated since the last time I looked, and now we can see our normal resource pack, except that I still can't see what level is this when it kicks in. 4. So I could see. That's fine. So I need redstone here, and yeah, like I said, just a lot of random redstone lines here until we covered everything. And I guess I need a repeater over here. Yeah, this place will definitely need a repeater. Or will it? Maybe it won't. But it's the most convenient place to place down a repeater, so a repeater here. They don't have to fire in sync, of course. This is just... I just need to make sure that all the pistons eventually fire. And I think we've got it. I think I covered all of them. It's a little bit messy, but that shouldn't really matter at all. Some repeaters here. I had to add a few target blocks, because otherwise I couldn't really get signals into, like this one, I couldn't put redstone on top of it, and the piston back there wasn't really reachable. I'm hoping I don't have any signals that are coming out like 2 ticks apart because of the repeaters and getting some pistons stuck with quasi-connectivity, but I don't think I have seen that happening. I think we're good. And I think I'm punching out all of them. I can't really see any that I'm not. I've been looking for a while now. Nope, this is now correctly set up. And yeah, I know the entire area has not a single light. All the light is coming up from there, and it only looks bright because I have the gamma correction. This might not be a good idea to play with it, even though it does improve the video quality. I keep forgetting to light things up. Fortunately, we have the mob switch, so we should be fine, but I will need to light this area up. And yeah, I'm getting interesting lag spikes when this whole thing fires. I'm gonna just disable this for a second, so I can properly fill it up with enough items. And the number of items should be all of them. I know. I will probably do the correct math so that we definitely have the correct number of items here for 167 minutes. And there should be 40 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. No, there we go. That's it. 40 here. 0 there. 0 there. Oopsie. And full hopper there. All right, I am gonna go AFK here for, well, a day at least, so that we can see the results of this farm and how many items I've got. Oh, and before I do that, I should do one more thing. And that is to empty all the garbage and non-garbage. Whoa, that's many more than I expected. I'm going AFK. Well, actually, I will probably also work on the lower one if I get some time. And we'll see how this works after, well, 24 hours. After 24 hours, this should have harvested how many times? It's doing about once every 3 hours, so 8 times, maybe 9, maybe 7, because maybe I'll come back here earlier. We'll see, I'll tell you what the numbers are. But see you, well, for me tomorrow, and for you in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello! No, it's not tomorrow yet, but it's tomorrow soon. Right, I am here now, I think 16 hours later, after 16 hours of AFK time of my second account, and I'm seeing this, and I'm not happy with it, because all of these are, I think, fully grown. Well, not all of them, but I think most of them. Might even actually be all of them. And I think I made a mistake. So I have 5 full stacks here, right? That takes 128 seconds for them to move items from this one to this one and back. And we are turning this torch on very short time every time this hopper gets empty, so every 256 seconds. And then I thought I was dividing the signal by 40, but I did the same thing on this side. So this signal goes into this dropper and then this dropper, depending on which one was empty. This is my... I think I invented this. Maybe someone else invented this too. But it's a pulse divider. But I am dividing when this one becomes empty. And there are 40 items in here. So, oh, this is dividing by 80. So I'm punching the crystals out every 6 hours. And not every 3 hours as I thought. I need to have like this. I need to remove most of the items from here. I think that's what's going on. I will have to rethink this because now I'm just thinking live on camera, and we know that that doesn't really work out most of the time when I'm trying to think and speak at the same time. But I think that is the problem here. And what I should do is just... if I remove this, then it should actually punch out everything. Yes. Clickety-click. Let's add 3 more here. I think we need to divide by 20. This one is supposed to be there because there is no piston above, because there cannot be no hopper below. So that is fine. I think, yeah, that was a mistake. I was dividing the signal by 80 and not by 40. So it was going at half the performance it should have been going. It's been approximately 16 hours, not exactly. So yeah, the non-scientific numbers, well, the numbers here are completely non-scientific. but okay, we're getting some shards. It's not awful, but why do I have a bud here? I probably just removed it manually when I was fiddling with the farm. The same thing with the stone block, so I'm just gonna remove it. The numbers that we're gonna get at the end of this episode are completely meaningless because the clock was wrong, but we get some numbers. I was just about to get to digging into this thing, and I'm also lighting up the area because I'm not always gonna run this with the mob switch on, and it might not be nice to have this whole area as a mob farm. Alright, and I dug out the second geode and connected everything. It was, I think, much smaller than this one, or at least it had fewer budding amethysts, because I used less than a stack of pistons on this one. This one was almost 2 stacks of pistons. No idea if I missed something. Maybe I destroyed some budding amethysts. I actually did destroy one on purpose because there was one on top of another one, and there was no reasonable way of harvesting both of them without going insane. I guess there could have been some methods, but I just destroyed it. And yeah, this is now, everything is connected into these chests. I hope there will be enough. Another stone. Keep ending up with stone here because I keep cleaning things up. But I'm hoping I connected everything correctly and I rerouted all the hoppers correctly. I don't know if I maybe missed something, but I actually would like to have some kind of mini HUD thing which would tell me the fill level of hoppers and other containers. Or maybe Tweaker or something, some mod that just lets you look at your hoppers and see if one of them is full. That would be very useful. It's a very niche and very specific use that is probably only useful for situations like this. But maybe that will give someone ideas. But I'm done with this for today. I'm gonna AFK for longer. I'm not gonna tell you the results of AFKing here for 24 hours because since the clock was wrong, it was meaningless. I'll just show you. We have that much, and after connecting this one maybe 2 hours ago or an hour ago, more of those. I have barely done any harvesting here just yet. But before we're done, how do I make tinted glass? Let's just make that. Oh, I don't know. Tinted glass. It requires glass. Do I have glass or did I make a mistake? No. Okay. We're gonna make tinted glass as the finish. Ooh, 2 pieces of tinted glass. This stuff is expensive. I'm not gonna make a lot of tinted glass. But that will be it for today. Thanks a lot for watching, and have good lightless farms. Bye!